What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here and I'm back with another video for you guys. And as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about the whole Vic Mignogna controversy that has been going on for about the past few weeks. I kind of wanted to talk about this before, but I didn't know what was going to come of it, since at the time it was just literally just a whole bunch of Twitter threads. But now that there's now a lot of businesses involved and jobs and stuff like that involved, I believe it's time that I finally talk about it. So I do have a lot of stuff written here on my phone, mostly just a way to keep my thoughts in order, since this is like the third time I'm recording this video and I want to make sure my thoughts are in order as much as possible. So first, I'm going to start out talking about who Vic Mignogna is. If you don't know who he is an English dub voice actor, mostly well known for voicing Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Tamaki Suo in Ouran High School Host Club, Fi in Tsubasa Chronicles, and most recently or most notably also would be Broly in the Dragon Ball Z movies, as well as in the Dragon Ball Super movie that was recently released into theaters. Now, what the accusations that are going on against Vic Mignogna are a lot of sexual harassment stories going on from female con-goers. Now, these allegations aren't just recent allegations. These are actually allegations stemming from way back in like 2008. And there are allegations that have been going actually on and off for a few years, but these are just most recently gaining steam over the past few weeks, mostly through the realm of Twitter. And there's also various other blog pages that have been keeping, I guess, a running catalog of people whom have actually came forward with their stories about Vic Mignogna. There are also a lot of stories concerning him just being a jerk at conventions, as well as some instances of him being homophobic and anti-Semitic, I believe I'm saying that word correctly. I apologize if I am saying it wrong. Now, what are the outcome of these accusations? Well, the outcome of these accusations originally was just a lot of people just voicing their stories, but over the most recent weeks, or at least this week definitely, there has been a lot more backlash because of these accusations. Most notably, it has had where Vic Mignogna has actually been not really banned, but his appearances have been canceled from several of the conventions that he was going to this year in 2019. He has been canceled from all but 5 of the conventions he was originally going to go to, and even one of them that he has not yet been canceled from, or is not canceled from actually, has also gotten backlash because they refuse to cancel his appearance, even with con-goers basically saying their concern as to him attending there. We also, of course, this recently came out, I believe on Monday, that Rooster Teeth actually has decided to cut their ties with Vic in the show RWBY, in which he voiced a reoccurring character by the name of Crow, spelled Q-R-O-W. And there has been a lot of people that have been upset with his recent dismissal because of this. As of now, there is no say-so regarding the character, although Rooster Teeth has said that there's nothing that's really going to change. So it looks like they're probably going to look into getting just a voice match for Crow. Don't know how soon as possible that is going to happen. There's been no further comments about this. Also, just released today, as of the recording of this video, Funimation Studios actually decided to basically change executive directors for a show in which Vic was a director or executive director, and he has now been replaced with Ian Sinclair. Funimation actually released this, so it wasn't like hearsay. I actually read this on animenews.net, in which they have actually came forward and have actually said this. That is the most recent, accusations, or the most recent outcome of the accusations. We won't know till later on if there are going to be other outcomes due to these accusations, but as of now, that is all that has basically been reported. As far as how industry people are talking about these accusations, I know a lot of people originally were only hearing stuff from the people who had attended cons who were saying their stories, but now we are actually seeing industry people coming forward with either their own stories or just showing support for those whom have told their stories. One of the people that actually has came forward and actually told their story was actually Neil Kaplan, in which he also shared a video where upon the first time of him meeting Vic jumped on his neck, I believe, and basically from his words mounted him, and he was actually not really feeling this kind of behavior, especially with him just meeting Vic for the first time. He also went on to say that Vic was late for that panel, and he has seen Vic in recent conventions late, or making his audience wait for him, which they believe is very, very rude and inappropriate behavior. And as far as I know, a lot of people he's gotten backlash due to this also, and a lot of people are saying that he didn't say anything, but most people have to realize he was in a panel at the time, so you can't exactly express your disinterest while there, especially in front of a group of minors. So is notable with the fact with the video that he doesn't look visibly upset, but he has gone on to say that he wasn't appreciative of that situation. Other voice actors that have came forward voicing their own opinions about this, or mostly just stating that they were standing with the survivors, were Monica Rial. You also had J. Michael Tatum. You had also Chris Sabat actually coming forward also, but he was mostly talking to another person on Twitter who decided to voice their opinions. Not really voice their opinion, but say that they hope he isn't, you know, joining in on the craziness of other voice actors who have been saying that they support the survivors. And his response was basically more so along the lines of like, you should listen to those whom have a little bit more insight into the situation than you do, which is definitely saying something, since a lot of these people who have showed their support for survivors do work with Vic and have known him for a long time. So there's a big possibility that they may know something that we most likely do not. There's another voice actress that actually came forward with her own story, whose name I forget at the moment. I sincerely apologize. But her story went along the lines of saying that she was raped by another voice actor, and then Vic somehow, I believe, sexually assaulted her or sexually harassed her per se. But those claims have now been proven to be false. Now, I'm going to say this now, just because you have one person whose claim has proven to be false doesn't mean the other girls who have came forward with their stories doesn't mean that their stories are false. It doesn't discredit them in any way. These things happen when it comes to stories. Sometimes there are people whose stories are discredited, but that happens from time to time. Now, as far as how this is affecting the anime community as a whole, I have seen basically two hashtags that have been started over the past coming weeks. One is hashtag I stand with Vic, and the other one is hashtag kick Vic. Obviously, the one that says they stand with Vic basically means that they are to supporting Vic Mignogna and they do not believe the accusations that are coming forward. The other one, kick Vic, basically means they are standing in support of the survivors and they believe everything that survivors pretty much have to say, and they do not agree with anything that Vic has done. This is also affecting the anime community because I feel like it is basically tearing us apart, because you have people who are on both sides of the spectrum. So you have a lot of friends that are probably arguing with each other who do not believe what is actually going on. But I've also noticed a lot of the mistreatment between anime fans talking to the people or the individuals whom were affected by this or who have told their stories. And that, for me, honestly, is what has disgusted me the most, because I personally do not agree with it. And a lot of times I feel like with the people that are saying something, or the people whom are basically trying to discredit these girls, or whom are, you know, saying just really bad things about these women that have came forward, I honestly have to say, you don't know what they were going through. So please don't, you know, feel like you have your right or feel like you should in any way talk bad or backlash against these women and call them names such as like liars. Or even I've also seen a lot of other anime people or anime even YouTubers actually say that they must have wanted it, they were asking for it. I've also heard them say that they should be kicked out of the community as well. And for me, I honestly do not agree with that. And I feel like just because someone voices something that you do not agree with, especially if it's about a individual that you like is your idol or that you really care about, or however the whole thing may seem, that doesn't mean that you should call anyone outside of their name. Also, I do have to say that I feel like there is a lot concerning this that can actually affect the anime community in the future. And I feel like this mostly stems from conventions. So as many of us know, when you go to a convention, they always say cosplay is not consent, and that is something that has been started over the past few years, just because a lot of girls and guys have probably came forward, or have came forward basically saying that they have felt like they have been mistreated by other con goers or anyone else for asking for very lewd pictures or been touched inappropriately, and that obviously is not okay. But this is more so coming from the guests that go to these conventions, and I feel like there's going to be much more of a policy of a don't touch policy. I know a lot of people do like to receive hugs from other voice actors whenever they get a picture. I myself have, whenever I've met voice actors, have gotten a hug, have gotten a picture, and for some people it is perfectly okay, and they are okay with that kind of physical touching. But I feel like with these allegations coming to light, that may definitely change when it comes to meet and greets, because you'll probably see more voice actors probably trying to make sure that there is that line that they do not cross when it comes to meeting fans. And by all means, I don't blame them for this. I feel like that is definitely something, and I feel like that's actually something that should have been practiced a long time ago, especially when you're around basically minors that are at these conventions, and there's gotta be a hard line that is crossed. But that is something I can definitely see changing. As far as my personal opinions that I have about this entire situation, I am going to say that I do stand with the survivors on this one, and I'm showing my support for them. Now, the reasons why, and I know a lot of people probably are not going to agree with me with on this, just because of they enjoy Vic and they, you know, believe him and stuff like that. I feel like there's a red flag when you have so many women come forward with the same story, and also when you have your own coworkers basically agreeing with what is being said. That to me is a red flag. And I know a lot of people will say, well, his coworkers are throwing him under the bus, and that's not fair, they should stand with him. If they truly believe that he didn't do these things, or that they believe that there's a huge possibility that it's not true, then I'm sure that they would stand by his side if they believed it. Now, these allegations have been going on for 10 plus years, off and on. And there's got to be something that they know that the rest of us do not know, because most of us just see what we have read on pages such as Reddit, Twitter, Tumblr. There's also a website where people have said their own like stories concerning him. And I feel like though these voice actors and these people within the industry know more than we do. I know also from reading through Monica Real's Twitter, whom is a very lovely voice actor. I actually got to meet her about a couple years ago or so. And she actually, someone had asked her about the whole DBZ Broly movie and if these allegations had been discussed. And she said they had been discussed because there was a huge concern regarding it. And I also feel like Funimation probably knew that there would be some backlash, which is why for a lot of people have realized now is that he was never actually announced that he was going to be voicing Broly in any of the like trailers or any of the promotions for the actual film, as far as I know of. At least that's what I've read about so far. But that is my whole opinion. That's my whole take on it. And the reason why I'm taking this opinion, this approach on it, is the same opinion and the approach I had with the whole Bill Cosby situation. Because when the whole Bill Cosby situation was going on, a lot of people were like, oh, he couldn't have done this. I think it's false. And these women just want money, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But my whole thing was like, you have all these women coming forward with the same story. That is a problem. That is a red flag, and I feel like there's something here that needs to be investigated, and that's the same stance I am taking with the Vic Mignogna controversy. You guys can disagree with me all you want, but that is the stance that I am taking. As far as for everybody that is asking for proof, I will say right now, when you have someone who has been sexually assaulted or sexually harassed or however it goes, there will never be actual proof as far as like physical proof. There won't be a picture, there won't be anything like that, just because a lot of times if that's going on, your right mind and your thinking is not that I need to pull out my camera and take a picture. And plus, in some of these allegations are stemming from so long ago or have been told a long time ago, it was during a time when technology was definitely not the best. You're looking at 2007, 2008, and also looking at a time when social media also was not like the biggest thing in the world at the time. Many of us were still on MySpace, and social media is not like the big wig that it is now. Plus, of course, you have now, it's a different time, day and age, and of course we have the Me Too movement where people are no longer going to stand for things like sexual harassment basically being swept under the rug anymore. So that is my personal opinion right now on where I stand on the issue. As far as where I stand with the anime community on this one, I am going to say that I am personally very disgusted from what I've been reading, from what I've been hearing, just because I've been watching YouTube videos about this made by other anime YouTubers, and I have to say a lot of them are kind of biased and are kind of looking at the whole situation as far as like they do stand with Vic on this one. And what's more disgusting isn't even the fact that they're still standing with them. What's disgusting is what they're saying about these women. The fact that they're, like I mentioned before, saying that they asked for it, saying that they should have done something, saying that they should have came forward earlier. Some people, one person even said that he thought the women that came forward were not brave and that it showed that they were a coward, that they waited for so long. But my whole thing is, you're not in that mindset. You don't understand what's going on. So a lot of times you're not in the right mindset to just come forward all of a sudden. And when you have someone like Vic, who a lot of people feel is very powerful in the anime industry, you are going to get backlash because you're going against someone that so many people love, trust, and are basically obsessed with and love their work. And the only person, like I mentioned, that I can easily compare this to would be Bill Cosby. Not so much their allegations, but just the power that they hold within the community of what they have going on. Bill Cosby was what people said was America's dad because they saw the character that he played, which was Cliff Huxtable on the Cosby Show, and they correlated that with him. So when these women came forward, people were like, there's no way that could have happened, you're lying, blah blah blah. That's exactly what people are doing with these women when it comes to Vic Mignogna. Now I know people are saying what he did was like a kiss or a hug or however, but I think these allegations go beyond that. From what I understand, yes, it was the kiss and the hugs, and yes, some people were saying they weren't comfortable with that, but also went along the lines of just him being rude to other con staffers, I believe at the time was what I've been reading, and also along the lines of him giving out his phone number to young minors or young girls at conventions. That is just not okay, and other allegations from what I've been reading. One of the things though that I will definitely say to you guys among the anime community is that, number one, you have to learn to separate Vic Mignogna and the man that he is from the characters that he plays. And I feel like that is where the anime community is not, what they're not doing pretty much. We can love the characters like Edward Elric, Tamaki Suo, Phi, and also Broly for whom they are and the characters that they are and what they stand for. But we don't have to stand for someone or an individual whom has had these allegations against him. I still love Fullmetal Alchemist. I still love Ouran High School Host Club, and I will most likely still watch it because I have no problem with it. But that's because I know to separate myself from whom is playing it from the actual character. You can hate the artist and you can still love their work. It happens all the time. People will say about music artists, like, I hate this artist, I don't like what they stand for, but I gotta say I love their music. And it's okay to do that, and I think that's something though that the anime community has to try to do, and I know it's going to be difficult, but it's just something that has to be done. One last thing though that I need to touch on, I know that a lot of people are very upset with Rooster Teeth for them deciding to basically replace Vic in their show. One of the things you guys have to understand is that Rooster Teeth is a business, and it was bad for their business to stick with Vic. That is such gonna be a hashtag at one point. But it wasn't going to look right for them, and that is why they decided to cut ties, and that is what you guys have to understand. So many companies have done this. Whenever their actor or their actress or whomever gets into some kind of trouble, they have to make a decision and determine if it's really worth it. And in Rooster Teeth's case, they realized this isn't worth it, and who knows, Rooster Teeth might have done their own investigation and have been like, look, these allegations look really bad. We did our own investigation and we've determined that it's not right for you to stick around with the company, and that is perfectly within their right to do. So getting mad at Rooster Teeth for them getting rid of Vic, you guys can be upset about it because he's voicing a character that you know and that you love. The character's not going away. Someone new is just going to be voicing that character. But you guys have to understand that it is a business, and I've seen a petition going on change.org about this, and that people want, you know, Vic to come back. I don't think Vic's gonna come back and voice that character. I'm just being completely honest, just because Rooster Teeth has made their decision, and that's what they're probably most likely gonna stick with. And you guys have to understand that if any other businesses decide to cut their ties with him, they are perfectly within their right to do so, and a lot of times it is based off of the name of the brand and what's gonna be right for them. But that is personally, just as of right now, my take on this. I am going to keep like following up with the story because I do want to see where it goes. I want to see what's going to happen. I want to see if there's any more backlash that happens. I want to see if these allegations this time actually stick, or if they will be swept under the rug as they had before in the past, and these women are going to be shut down once again, and then have these allegations pop up again years later. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen, but as of right now, it looks like these allegations might actually stick. Will they go to court? I honestly don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to go to court. If anything, I could just mostly seeing it with him just not just being blackballed from the industry for a while. I honestly have no idea. But what is your take on this? Comment down below. I'm sorry this video actually ran so long. I actually apologize if I'm rambling, just because of the fact that my thoughts are all over the place right now, and I understand for those of you guys that do not agree with me on this stance. I am prepared for people to backlash me. I'm prepared for people to say that they don't agree with my opinion, and I feel like that's always gonna happen. But like I mentioned, this is my opinion. This is what I've gathered based off of what I've researched and what I have read, and also personally what I feel. So that's what I'm going based off of. But yeah, that is my video. Like always, you guys, I will leave links to all my social media accounts down below. Check them out as always. Remember, I come out with new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. My next video is most likely going to be a review on The Promised Neverland. Episode 5, I believe, comes out this week. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this was informational enough for you guys. Once again, comment down below with your own opinions. But like I say to you guys, like always, be positive and stay nerdy. All right, you guys.